Right, Chris, we'll get straight to the heart of the matter. When you wrote about the Supra in recent Top Gear magazine...
This is an ambush. You're not going to recall what I wrote about it.
Look, there was one quote which I've picked out, which was, "This is one of the strangest cars I've ever driven." Yeah. So, can you explain yourself?
Okay, and this might be peculiar to people that test cars, because I'm too familiar with individual brands and the way that they resonate with me. So when I get in an Audi, there's a smell to an Audi, there's a feeling to the seats, a feeling to the steering wheel, the leathers, the textures. There's an identity to the vehicle, right? There's an identity to a BMW as well. And I'm very familiar with that, from the way the key operates, the way the door handle works, the weighting of the controls. Everything is particular to a BMW. So when you get in a car that's badged Toyota and it goes BMW in your head, everything says BMW, from the sound it makes to the way that it drives to the way that it sounds, the way that the materials even smell inside it. You go, this is weird, this doesn't quite work for me. Yeah. Now, the argument that's levelled at people like me is, well, that's peculiar to you because you're a car tester. Mm-hmm. If someone's not driven a BMW, they won't know. But I don't think that's right. I still don't think that works for me. This is an enthusiast car, and I maintain my argument. If we were talking about a Corolla and it had a load of BMW 1 Series in it, then I'd understand it. Mm. It's a halo car for the whole brand. This is a statement to the world of what Toyota can do. So when they need to go and make that statement, they go to BMW and say, "You make it, we'll slap a badge on it."
I've just wound you up.
Yeah. If you found out that Dom Perignon, nipped down the road and said, "Well, we'll nick a bit of that stuff, but it's not actually ours," you'd be profoundly disappointed.
Absolutely. Now, did Paddy give you a go in the A80, the old Supra?
No.
I'm sure you've driven one.
No, I've driven one. Yeah.
I don't want to give away your age, but you may have driven one new.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah. No, I've never driven one, but I think that the legend probably doesn't live up to the reality.
Massive rose-tinted spectacles. There's a standard car. It was, it made a 928 look agile, and they were a bit heavy, anyway. So, but it was the tunability, that massive lump of heavy 2JZ became a legendary vehicle. Like so many cars that are standard were a bit lackluster. By the time they'd gone through the Japanese tuning mill, the Yun Supras and all those sorts of things, they just became part of folklore, motoring folklore, and they coincided with the Max generation, which was wonderful. So that's a very tunable engine. They're going to do great things with this car. They're going to make it go really fast. And I think, for me, there's something really appealing about the core DNA of a properly Japanese sports car. They are, more often than not as objectively good as
I was going to say, GTR, NSX, Supra, these are all quite deeply flawed cars.
But they carry with them a story and narrative of kind of Japanese obsession. There's something about them that makes you, when you sit in them, you go, why have they done that?
Have you ever been to see the guys who build the GTR engines? Yeah. There's sort of only 2 of them that can build them at a time. It's like a 10-year training process, white gloves, a lot.
But I love all that. And this, to me, just doesn't feel Japanese. It's a bit like going to Oktoberfest in a kimono. It doesn't quite work.
It's an idea for a feature.
There you go.
I think. Right, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. If you had to have one in this class, would you have the Supra, the Alpine, M2 Comp, or the Cayman? Cayman GTS.
There are 2 standout cars in the class for me. There's the Alpine and there's the M2 Comp. They're head and shoulders above this, as both as an object to own and a car to enjoy driving.
So if you had to take one home out of those 2?
I'd have the Alpine. Yeah, I just think it's the standout sports car of the last few years. It offers something nothing else does, that sort of Lotus lightness of touch. It's a car that you enjoy every drive, and it reveals more and more of its personality. The M2's a bit more of a blunt instrument. If you want to go and smoke something around, yes, and it's obviously got rear seats, but the Alpine is almost an unrepeatable prospect at the moment. So yeah, all day long, I wouldn't look at one of these compared to one of them.
I'm afraid though, Chris, it's the wrong answer.
Go on then, what is it?
Because you'd have a Cayman GT4, wouldn't you? The new one.
Well, yeah, but that's 75 grand, isn't it?
Yeah, all right.
So I think
questions are open to interpretation, aren't they?
I think the Alpine is the one.